give you money because I was there without nothing. And now, I can afford to buy a watch that's over 10 grand. I can afford to buy a little stupid shit because I sacrifice. If you're not willing to sacrifice, you're not going to be able to do it. And it's a year. It's 1 year. Now, what's going to happen is you're not going to do it. That year going to go by, and you're going to calculate all the money you possibly could have saved. And then now what? You're right back where you started from. Trying to figure out a plan and trying to do something to fix your situation when you had a plan given to you. And here it is. It's January. This is the beginning. It's January. By the end of December, we're going to see who got that money. We're going to see who ain't bullshitting. Because this is the system that they use, that everybody uses. It's just a normal basic system. And it works. It works. But it's contingent on you having a discipline, having a focus, being willing to sacrifice, being willing to do what you need to do to make your foundation strong. So when you begin to build on it, your plan and your strategy and what have you, everything works out for you. Now, a lot of times what I see happen with a couple of people that I was trying to help out is they tell me their situation. They tell me their life and what they're doing and what's going on. And I give them the plan. I tell them what they should do. And they don't do it. And it's like, just do it. A lot of people, you give them a basic plan and they look at you like, it's rocket science. Like it's the most complicated thing in the world because you told them they need to save their money. And they just like, they can't comprehend that. I can't stand when you tell people, you give people a plan to do something to make them make money and to help their life. They don't go crazy. They don't get engaged. They zone out. They act like you didn't just give them a good plan or you didn't just really put them in a better position or, help them out. It's like, what are you waiting for? Go do it. And then it's like when you talk to them later on, it's like, yo, did you do that? Oh, no, I didn't get around to it. It's like, what? From what you told me, you need to stop bullshitting and do this. And the next thing you know, they ask you for money. Or they're hitting you up with a sob story about something and they're hitting that they need money. A lot of people end up putting themselves in bad positions because they psych themselves out or they think something is too hard to where they don't really want to put the work in to do it. And there's so many people that get caught up in stuff like that. And I hate when I see that happen. I hate it, especially the black folks, because we already set back and we already got issues. But when you let your own fears and doubt hinder you, it's just a sad thing. You ain't going to get nowhere. Again, it's a mindset. You got to be mentally strong and really ready to put the time in and sacrifice to be successful. If you thought this was just going to be some easy stuff that you can go ahead and jump online and do, and I was going to give you guys some pointers and tips to go ahead and put your money here and there, you still need a foundation first. You still need a foundation. That's what it's about. You need this foundation. And you shouldn't be starting to jump into anything unless you have a foundation. Unless you're building on something. If you ain't got say you ain't got $1,000, what are you doing? Some people ain't got $100. What are you doing? And, when I start putting out the DVDs and everything and selling the downloads and all that, I wasn't expecting people to buy. It's a shame that, more people from America don't buy as much as Europe and Africa. And how Africa got America beat. That's crazy that more people buy from Africa than here. But the thing is, I already understood, how we look at stuff. It's the mindset that they programmed us with. It's, man, I ain't buying that shit. What? How much? I'm not paying that money. And a lot of people, it is what it is on that. Some people have that mentality to where they won't even pay to further their education or further their success. And that's what a lot of people have that issue with. They don't want to really put the work in or spend the money to benefit themselves. And that includes saving money. Because some people act like saving money is spending money. When that's retarded. You got the money right there. Money is still there. You saving it, it's your money. And you got to burn a hole in your pocket, people, where they just can't save money for nothing. And that's a mental issue. That's a problem you have. I had the same problem. So what I used to do was when I sent money to my account for savings, I didn't have a debit card for that account. Plain and simple. It took me a long time to finally have a debit card for that account to where, I had enough money to where, well, I'm not never going to spend this money anyway. I'm cool. And when you get to that point, that's when you get a debit card for it. Or you just don't get one anyway, but that's what I did. So when I had my money going into my savings account, I never had a debit card for it. If I wanted to take money out, I had to go all the way to the bank to do it. So what I did was I went Navy Federal Credit Union, and that's where I was putting my money at. And guess what? I had to go way the hell out freaking Winfield, or where the hell was that at? In Philadelphia. No, it wasn't Philadelphia. It was up so West Bubblefuck somewhere in Philly. I forget. Willow Grove. That's where it was. Willow Grove in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I had to go way out there, which is far. If you're from Philly, you know how far it is from North Philadelphia to get my money out. So I was never getting the money out. So the money ended up stacking because the bank was so damn far away. It was the only one. And unless I went to Jersey, which was even further. So it was easy for me. Next thing you know, you start seeing the money grow and grow. And you're like, damn, I got this much. And it started to make you feel happy. It eases the pain, you know. You don't feel worried or stressed about nothing anymore. You know you got this nice savings. You got a contingency plan in place. You feel ready to go ahead and just, you know, keep doing what you're doing. Make you happy to get up and go to work, and make you happy to get up and go doing what you're doing, knowing you got this money. You got the backup plan, and you're working towards something. But if you're getting up and you're going to work and you know you ain't got shit, you don't know what you're going to do when the bills come, this is your problem. It's your fault. Plain and simple, because you don't have the discipline to go ahead and do what you need to do. You don't have the foundation. And for a lot of you, the problem is just simply you don't have the understanding. You don't have the know-how. You don't have somebody to give you what I'm saying here. That may seem like basic common sense because it is, but you haven't really taken it in as such yet. And now you get it, and it makes a lot of sense. You know, it's like, well, damn, you know what? I can do this. And I believe a lot of you can. And once you start to do it, you'll see what I'm talking about. After that first couple months, when that money is there and you ain't spend it, 2 months pass and that money there, you're going to be like, damn, I'm doing it. I'm doing it. Don't pay attention to that savings account. Let the money stack up. After 6 months, go and look at it, and you're going to be like, wow. So now discipline and focus is huge. Your mindset can be right. You can be right. You have the right mentality and everything, but you got to keep that going. You got to have discipline. You got to have focus. And, you know, because you'll get to a point to where you're like, well, shit, now I got 20,000 saved. I can afford to go buy this. I can afford to go do this. But remember, you're doing this because you have a long-term goal. You have a bigger, you know, a bigger plan, something bigger that you're fighting for. So to keep that in mind, and the more you got in savings, the more you have for collateral, you know, to do what you need to do. You know, that's good. It's good to have that savings. You don't want to go ahead and spend that big chunk of money, and it's like, damn, that's a whole year down the drain because you wanted to, you know, get some damn rims or something like that. Just smarter. Let that money build up. You'll be surprised at how high you can get it when you're saving, when you're not bullshitting around with your money and you're doing what you're supposed to do with it. Especially if you got kids. It's tougher to do something like this when you got kids because kids always need stuff. So that means that you got to be even more, you know, focused, even more focused and disciplined. You know, but I did this, you know, with my son. Like I said, I got a 17-year-old son. He'll be 18 this year. Did it. Plain and simple. And it's not hard. You can do the same type of thing. You just allocate that money and with your monthly money, the contingency, and you still got some money anyway here and there for when you need stuff. So it still all fits. It's still all possible based upon your income and what you got coming in. Some of you may have less after you save, and some of you may have more. But the point is that you're saving. And it may not seem like much, as I said, but this is a start. You got to get somewhere. And you got to start creating this energy to where you have an organized energy of wealth, of money. Because that's what you create when you have this system. You're creating an energy. You're creating an energy and you're creating a frequency for money. And as long as you're doing this and you have this established and you have this focus and consciousness on sticking with money in this system, you're going to start to attract, you know, this stuff to you. Things are going to work out. Situations are going to happen for you, and it's going to add to your, you know, savings account, to your bank account. And next thing you know, you're cool. You might find yourself in just the right situation that's going to set you up financially good for a long time. But if you're not creating that atmosphere and that energy for this money, it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. You're going to have this confused atmosphere to where every dime you get is confusion. You get money, you don't know what to do with it. You just hold it in your pocket. You ain't saving it. You just waiting to spend it. That's just like it's the atmosphere. It's the energy for losing money. Because the whole time you got this money, your energy is going towards getting rid of the money to spend on something, not to save, not to plan or to add it towards your future. That's a negative energy you have dealing with money. This is why people get caught up in the same cycles over and over again. Easy come, easy go. They have money. Next thing you know, it's gone, and it's just a cycle. You shouldn't be grown and broke. That's just crazy to me. And people may think that, what I'm saying is like out of touch or out of reality with normal people. It's not. It's your fault because you're doing stupid shit with your money. And I see it all the time, man. I see it all the time. I don't have friends ask me for money, and I'm seeing all the Instagram pictures and everything, and they got $200, $250 phones and Jordans and shit like that. I'm like, what? You ain't got $100. And I seen like $700, $1,000 worth of sneakers. The fuck is you doing? You got kids. How you got $100? That's crazy. So, it's people. And you know it is. You know it's you. You know you buying shit that you shouldn't buy. And you're not saving. You don't have a plan. You don't have a foundation. And this is the foundation you need to start building for yourself, because it's what white folks are doing. It's just normal. It's just simple to them. Simple economics. Basic economics. Personal economics that you should have, and a foundation for yourself and for your family. And this is what you should be doing. Now, you got a wife or a husband. God damn, y'all should be good. That's a whole paycheck. Y'all can go ahead and just allocate the bills. Y'all should come together on this thing. And it's easier when it's two of you. You can't be in a relationship and y'all one and y'all trying to be separate and hide y'all money and y'all both broke. How the hell are you in a relationship and both of y'all broke? What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? So you got to have a plan. You got to have a foundation established to where, by now, you've been working for 5 years and you ain't got $1,000 in your bank account. The hell are you doing? You should be ashamed. And it's crazy to me. And I'm trying to rack my brain as to how, and of course I know how. You bullshitting. You bullshitting, one. And two, you just don't know what to do. You ain't know this. You ain't know what to do. You ain't think it was this simple or basic to really start, setting up a real good foundation. And you found yourself in a lot of problems. And then now you're trying to dig out these problems to where you can't really save money, because every time you get money, you got to go right back out the door to bills. And that's basically due to how, you didn't have a foundation in the first place. So now you got to dig yourself out, and you got to cement that foundation now and make it strong. And now you can begin to build on it. But again, even if you're in debt, it just takes you climbing out, still using the same system, but climbing out of debt, doing what you got to do, and make sure you're not freaking, you don't have, more bills or more money you got to pay a month than you have actually coming in a month, and that's just simple math. That's just not going to work. So now the next thing we're going to get into is income and opportunities, because in order to really have this plan working for you, the more you have coming in, the more money you are generating, the better the situation will be. That's just obvious. So with income, most people, of course, you have your regular 9 to 5, your regular job. And that's for a lot of people, they only income, if they don't have a side hustle. You know what I'm saying? So right now, the internet is the best source. And a lot of people don't understand they are not really utilizing the internet for the many things that they can to make money. A lot of people are so immersed in social media, and they don't really understand how much money is to be made, in social media itself, and really building a product and a brand based upon the followers that you have. If you are in that market, if you have that kind of talent to create and, put out items. But social media, the internet is the way. There are other means, as I talked about before, with Uber and Lyft. And that's just a huge thing right now, that if you have an up-to-date car, and you can go ahead and make pretty good money doing Uber. And I know Lyft, they do what they do out here in Vegas, where you can basically go ahead and get to rent a car, and Lyft will pay you out after the rental car is paid for. It's like rules. You get a certain amount of rides, and the car is paid for. But I know a couple people that have rental cars that's doing Lyft out here in Vegas and are making, about $700 to $1,000 a week. And, it's a lot of ways to bring in extra money, and also have a full-time job. So you have with social media, you have YouTube, which is one of the major ways people are making extra money now with YouTube channels. And people who have a talent or are able to put out something to generate a huge buzz can get a lot of people coming to their channel where they can generate money. And a lot of people are, making things and selling products and using PayPal and using Facebook to sell things. I mean, there's so many little ways you can bring in extra money when you understand how. I have a friend who paints really well and sells that painting on Facebook. And, you had these dudes that be standing out there on a corner that be, drawing art and be trying to sell their art. Well, with social media, I mean, when you start putting that stuff up there, I seen this dude. He was just taking people profile pictures and drawing it and then just sending it to them, free. Like, I drew this for you, send it to the inbox and see, what they want something else done for money. And that's how he started out. And he has he had a whole website just dedicated. People would come there and they would just upload their Facebook pictures to him or any kind of picture they want. And he would draw, for a price, like really nice, and send it to them in all different kinds of styles, oil paintings or what have you. It's $1 million idea. Genius. And, it's a lot of different ways, that you can use talents and things you know how to do to, bring in more money. And once you have that extra income, that creates a lot more opportunities for you as far as, adding to your savings and being able to later branch off into other things. But it also gives you a little bit more freedom and leeway when you basically are trying to build and execute your plan, having that extra income, especially if it's something that's not going to take away too much time, So that's something you really want to try to focus on if you can, if you have the time, if you're not going to school and working at the same time, if you can find time to try to find somewhere where you can fit in something to make extra money. And a lot of people are not willing to drive Uber and Lyft. I understand that. A lot of people are not willing to get in front of the camera and jump on YouTube or what have you. A lot of people are not willing to do a lot of these things. But I mean, it's something you can do if you're not going to pick up an extra job to start generating, more money. So that's something to definitely think about. Now, investments. Now, depending on where you are at, and I'm telling you this because a lot of people always say, I need to find somewhere to invest my money. Where can I put my money in? When the Bitcoin thing was going on, as I talked about, a lot of people was talking about putting their money into Bitcoin and investing and buying Bitcoin. If you do not have this foundation established already, you can't be investing in anything. You can't afford it. How are you investing in anything and you can't afford to lose the actual money? And that's the problem. Monkey see, monkey do. Everybody want to be like everybody else and do what everybody else is doing, not knowing that person's situation and understanding your own. Understand your own situation. You have no foundation. So what are you trying to invest in if you can't afford to lose the money? If you can't afford to gamble and lose, don't go gamble and lose. That's the problem. And that's one of the things people do. They see other people making money and they get jealous. They feel some type of way like, damn, I missed the boat. You don't know that person's circumstances to where they were able to invest, and you don't understand if they just got lucky or not. Of course, you want to get lucky as well, but can you really afford it? If you can afford to go ahead and blow thousands of dollars, a lot of money on an investment, then go right on ahead and do it. If that's something you can afford to do, then do it. But if you don't have this foundation already set up and are really establishing and building towards, having that contingency and the savings that you want, to go ahead and start implementing your plan, and then you shouldn't be worried about investing right now. This is not the time. It is not at that point. We're going to get into investments, but right now isn't the time. It's not the time. You want to be building this foundation first. And that's why I wanted to get this part out, just this first initial part for laying the foundation to beginning to build success. Because if you're not willing to do this, what's in this DVD, there's no need to buy part 2 when we start getting into exactly what to do with that money and where to put it and what I have done and where I have put my money and how I have made certain moves and put myself in a good financial position to end up making $700,000 in a year. So if you ain't willing to, buckle up, sacrifice, and not think you're entitled to a whole bunch of shit because you work hard, everybody work hard, then this is not for you. It's not for you. You're not really ready to go on, and you're probably going to stay in the same place because you're not willing to sacrifice and invest in yourself, because that's where your money should be going, in you. And a lot of people don't understand when people say invest in yourself. This foundation that I'm talking about here is exactly what they're talking about. Investing in yourself. Taking that money and instead of bullshitting with it, putting it in your contingency That means your 3 months saved of what your total bills and everything going to be, including rent, food, and having that savings. That's investing in yourself. That's having that money saved, sitting there waiting for you to be in the right financial position to go ahead and make the moves. Just come away, with the mindset of understanding you can't do what everybody else is doing. You can't get that lucky break like some people do. You're not going to be able to buy or live the way you see other people live just because you want to. The people that's willing to put in the hard work and willing to sacrifice always reap the rewards and the benefits. I mean, even if you use this plan and start doing it just to have money for the summertime, because that used to be my thing. I used to grind all winter and make sure I got fired like around, May, so I collect unemployment all summer and just be getting paid all summer and chilling. I used to do that. I was stupid, but it was like fun. It was like, because I was in the military and I had a degree. So anytime I applied for a job, I always got hired. And it was real easy for me to work hard and save money and then just get fired and collect unemployment and have my savings and go party all summer. And, after a while, when you start meeting certain people and start seeing how certain people live, it definitely make you want to get your shit together. And, you see stuff that you want, you figure out how to get it. And that's the thing. And I was like, what can I do? How can I get this? And, I always like to talk about The Pursuit of Happiness with Will Smith. That movie. I mean, he walking down the street. A lot of people don't get that part. I mean, just remember, he's walking down the street. You see the dude get out the car, nice car. And he just asks him what he does. And he's told him what he does. And the whole movie is about him trying to get that job. He's seen what this man do. He's seen the kind of car he was driving. It wasn't his first love. Like, that's what, he grew up wanting to do his entire life. It was his passion or something. He said, this dude making money doing this. I want to do what he doing. And look what he did and went through. Sacrifice, having to sleep in the bathroom with his son and all the stuff he went through in The Pursuit of Happiness, based on a true story, by the way, to end up getting that job. I mean, that's amazing to me. And that's just like, whoa, he's seen something. It's not practical today, but I mean, just the story, you have to really use it as inspiration, as wow. He seen something that he wanted. He figured out how to get it and he got it. And it wasn't easy. And he had to sacrifice. He had to embarrass himself. And how far are you willing to go to get what you want? And he proved he was willing to go far and to do anything. He had to drive. We so caught up in this culture that we don't want to embarrass ourselves. We don't want to do anything that's going to make us look less than what we think we are, when we don't realize we look less than what we think we are. And that's the problem with a lot of people. They try to be something that they're not. And they only fooling themselves. And time is ticking. The clock is going by. And you're going to look up and it's going to be too late for a lot of you to do anything. Or you're going to feel that way at least. Because it's not too late. And it's really up to you. So it really begins with that mindset. Changing that mindset, having that mindset and that mentality to understand what's going on and that all this shit is a trap and you better act like it. And stop acting like these people are going to give you something that's going to make you rich and better than them. It's not going to happen. Stop believing because you got a good heart and you're a good person, things is just going to magically happen good for you. It's not going to happen. You got to work. You got to have a plan. You have to bring to yourself the information, the know-how to get what you want. Because that's the only way your subconscious is going to allow your body to walk in that path. Once you get the information and the knowledge to know how to do it. If you don't know how to do it, you can't do it. You can only operate on what you know. Now you know. You have a plan to set up for. You have a strategy to build a strong foundation. And it's up to you to really establish it. And to start it and begin it and stick to it. People be trying to lose weight. They don't lose weight because they be bullshitting, and we all know that. People be working out and be like, I'm not losing anything, because they know they cheating themselves. You can't cheat yourself. You got to be real. It's the only way. But you have to realize that along this way, this little journey, the suffering that you're going to face is going to be because of desire. Because if everything is started working out for you and you got your contingency, you have your savings, and then you got the little extra money and you want to spend it, It's desire. It's because you desire certain things, and that's what you have to fight. The temptation, the desire, the want for stuff that you do not need, and forfeit it, sacrifice it for a better future for you and your family, your kids. That's all you got to do. And that's tough, I know, but that's what you have to do. That's what you have to do. It's not going to be easy. But understand that you are building an energy for success. You are building a frequency for success. And by building that frequency and that energy, you will attract it. You will attract things to you. And, you'll see it start to benefit you. But it's not going to be nothing like sitting back knowing that you are financially comfortable. You got a savings. You got $1,000 in your savings account. You have a contingency, so if something happened and you lose your job, you can survive for 3 months. Still have a savings. It's nothing more comfortable than that. When I first got that, when I realized that, oh shit, I'm cool. I got money coming in. Even if I lose it, I'm fine. I have a savings. That's the biggest thing. And that's the biggest problem. The biggest thing they do not teach us is that we need to save money. We need to humble ourselves and save money and make sure we got a good plan, that we got savings and security. Now today, I live comfortable. I don't have to worry about money. That's a good thing to be able to say as a black man in 2018, that you do not have to worry about money. You ain't sell your freaking ass. You ain't, sell out to these white folks. You ain't do a bunch of, stuff that you're ashamed of, that you worked hard and you still young, and you ain't in the entertainment industry, jiggable and dancing around for these folks, and you comfortable. You're okay. You're your own boss. You're doing your own thing. And, it's real humbling to know you can do whatever you want to do. And I'm here now, back in America, establishing, just more work. I'm going to be here setting up Airbnb. I'm going to do it here in Vegas. Then I'm going to do it in LA, because it's the fastest growing. I think it's number 3 as far as the fastest growing investment opportunity in America right now. And if you haven't heard of Airbnb, just briefly, it's basically when you rent out your apartment to people who come into the city for whatever. I just so happen to be right next to the convention center in Las Vegas. We're right next to the convention center. So it's easy for me. So many people want to rent out the apartments here. It's easy to do Airbnb and make good money here. And, it's really up and coming. You can make a lot of money. A lot of Asian people love it, because Asians, when they travel, they like to cook. They don't like to stay in hotels and eat hotel food. They like to cook their food. And trust me, I know. So it's a good business opportunity that we're going to get into and talk about in further parts, because it's definitely something you want to get into that's easy to get into. And yes, you can, if you have a nice home. I mean, it's weird. A lot of people don't want to do it in a house, but if you have a house, or you have like a guest room, or you have like a basement apartment or something like that, Airbnb is good money, because you have people who will actually rent a room for Airbnb if they need to. It sounds crazy, but they do it a lot. You have backpackers, and a lot of people don't know about these backpacker societies, where you have people who literally backpack across America and they stay at Airbnb a lot. So, it's just another way to make money that I'm really getting into. And it's definitely good. But being able to do what you want to do and have financial freedom and travel and do things is just a beautiful thing. And I just want people to really understand that they don't have to be stuck thinking that, somebody got to save them, or that they never can achieve this, at their 9 to 5. It's having that mindset, using that 9 to 5 to achieve it, to get what you want. Many of you are going to watch this and you're not going to take it seriously, and you're going to let another opportunity pass you by to where somebody's trying to help you out. Even if you do not buy the next part of this series, and you just take the advice that's in this one and listen to me and set up this foundation, you're going to be fine. You don't need to see nothing else. You'll be fine. This is the foundation that has been used. This is what is the blueprint for success. And it's just common sense that you must do this. And a lot of people have absolutely no clue. So I really wanted to get this out and just to lay this foundation to set this thing off, because a lot of people are not going to be willing to do it. And if you're not willing to do that, then you have to find another means, another way of, building success for yourself and, getting out of the situation that you are in. But this is the best plan. And it's the only way that is, that is really, easy to really do, that makes the most sense, because you got to have the security. Don't put yourself in those positions no more where you just asked out and you got to be begging, calling people, asking out for money. I mean, imagine. Like, even people, if we had this system, then niggas won't be looking for bail money all the time. If they was following the system, you would have the money already. Oh, I need bail money. Just, it happens a lot. You ain't, what? You doing what you doing? You're a grown man, you ain't got bail money. Knowing that you do stuff, you do dirty shit. You know you walking around carrying dirty guns and you selling drugs, you ain't got no bail money somewhere in the tuck. That's on you. That's on you. So we got to get out of this mindset, this ignorant mindset that we have that has been brought upon by this culture, this hip hop culture that got us real stupid and not following simple, basic things such as establishing the foundation for our success. As I said, generational wealth begins with the family, the mom and dad. If you don't have a mom and dad to show you how to establish this foundation, that, you know, mom and dad worked, they had a savings, they put money aside for your college fund, all the shit we hear white people talk about all the time that sounds so foreign to us. But this is what they do. But it's normal. Generational wealth begins with the parents. You got to start implementing that in your kids and let them know that they need to save, they need to have their mind right, they need to know what's going on, they need to have security and backup, and they'll be fine. They'll be fine. And it's just the way it is. Unfortunately, in this society, a lot of people have you thinking that it's you know, you selling out by being educated, you selling out by going to college, you selling out by getting a mortgage, or you selling out by investing in America, or what have you, investing in yourself. And you got to use this system and milk this system for what it's worth, because it's milking you right now. So you need to milk it back. You need to get out of it what you put in it, which is a lot. It owes you. Unfortunately, it's not willing to pay you, so you got to take it. But you got to be smart about it and strategic and get this ghetto shit out your mentality. Get it away from you, because it's going to hinder you. And stop following and worried about what everybody else is doing. Focus on you. Focus on yourself. Set up this foundation. Establish it. Make it solid. And you're going to be all right. You're going to be fine. So it's part one. Part two, we're going to get into a lot more. But I wanted to set this up to get you guys to basically get on board with setting up this foundation. And if you're willing to do it, then the next parts is going to be easy for you. It's going to be stuff that you're going to, look at down the line, because right now you're setting up the foundation, and some of you may not have it or can't set up the foundation immediately. It's going to take you some time, but at least you have the steps right there waiting for you. Some of you are going to be ready to go, some are not. But I'm going to show you a lot. We're going to go through some things, and hopefully you guys can take advantage of some of the opportunities and, do good things, because it's definitely out here for us to take it and to make money and to live good lives and not be stuck in this rat race. And only being conscious. If you're conscious, you can do this. If you're conscious, you can do it. So, I know plenty of you are going to take advantage, and some people are not, and that's just on them. So, people ask for this. I didn't want to get into none of this. I didn't want to talk about it because it's kind of personal. I didn't want to really touch on none of this stuff, but I keep getting so many emails from people, messages about talking about, what to do with their money and how to set up, the right type of circumstances for them to build wealth. So here it is. We're going to get into it. This is basically, establishing the foundation. And I see you guys next video. Thanks for purchasing and support. I really appreciate it. See you next video.